Dr. Pepper. And I see Calvin went and got some root beer, and he didn't give me none.
Well, you want me to go back and I can get you one?
No, it's fine. It's fine.
It's got real sugar in it, though, which might, freak your body out.
Freak my body out. Freak.
Yeah, it's not that diet stuff, you know.
It says we are live tonight. We have Aaron in the house, the handy outdoor nerd, who just got done getting his groove down this weekend. He went dancing. And
I felt like an old
what was
person.
that? Riding a cowboy? What was that you were singing?
Safe a Horse, Ride a Cowboy by Big and Rich.
We need to play that video tonight.
He's gonna
go right ahead. You're more than welcome.
Oh God!
So how's the weather tonight? Is it any better?
Well, there's our answer. Aaron dropped out for a sec.
Yeah.
You back?
Still here.
Okay. So how's the weather tonight back there?
Yeah, it's doing all right.
Good.
So, yeah, tonight's supposed to be decent, and tomorrow night it's supposed to pick up. So, fun times.
Yeah, the other night when we were talking, all kinds of stuff were happening back there. Man.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a weather cut-in while you were on talking to me. That was fun. Yeah. I was like, I shouldn't have to do it. I spoke too soon.
Man.
Watch, tonight will be the night of like 5 tornadoes or something terrible like that.
Last week when I was talking to Jimmy, we had like 7 that week.
Oh my gosh.
It was bad.
We've had so many tornadoes this season already. It's nuts. So it's Memorial Day, everybody. So I would personally like to say thank you to all the men and women who have served and are serving out there. So thank you so much for your service. We greatly appreciate it.
Completely agree. Thank you very much for your service.
Ditto to that. I've got a couple of family members who were in one way or another involved in the military, or one of them was in the Coast Guard. So yeah, definitely big thank you to all of them and their sacrifices and all that stuff.
And thank you to the families of everyone who served. Like, the people do not understand on how much of a burden it puts on those families. My dad was in the military most of my life. So he retired a couple years ago. So it is appreciative to all the families and the sacrifice. So we think.
You really cut out there for a moment.
How about now? Am I there?
There. Now you're starting to come back. You served in the military as well, didn't you?
No, my dad did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my dad did. So, yeah, he was deployed overseas 2 times to Afghanistan and all that, in Qatar.
Man.
Yeah.
So out of curiosity, what exactly did he do? Was he more of like a logistics person, or actually involved in the fighting, or?
He was a motor pool sergeant. So a mechanic.
Got it.
Nice. So, tell us about this wedding this past weekend.
All right, so I am one of 7 children. I am exactly in the middle. I have, 1 second, let me plug this back in. All right. So I have an older sister, an older brother, another older sister, then it goes me, younger sister, 2 younger brothers. So it literally has the exact same amount. and I'm in the middle. So I'm literally the odd one out. My youngest brother finally got married. Oop. Still there? All right.
There, you came back.
Yeah, so he got married Friday. We had the rehearsal Thursday, and then Friday was the wedding. So I did that, and it was a cowboy wedding. So cowboy boots, cowboy hats, and all that good stuff.
Save a horse, ride a cowboy.
Yeah, funny thing, the song they actually walked out after they got I now pronounce you husband, wife, da da da, and then introduced Mr. and Mrs. Excuse me, Matthew Van Black, and then they start walking out. Well, they started walking out to the Office theme song.
That is awesome. That is seriously awesome.
So during rehearsal, I did something on the walkout, and I did it during the wedding too. I danced out, just like Jim and Pam's wedding.
I was waiting for you to say that you said the famous Michael Scott line. That's what she said.
That's every day, Calvin. That's every day of me. I say that every day, pretty much.
I do the shop a lot.
It took me the longest time to understand what that was, and then I figured out that it really has no meaning. You just say it, and I'm like, okay, that's great.
Yeah, well, it's got to be something good, though, before you say it. You can't just say it for like, oh, there's a group. That's it. That's what she said.
Yeah, I know.
It doesn't work.
Like, man, that was
Or,
rough.
Hey, that's a big group. Yeah, that's what she said.
So did that, and so we're at the wedding. They did the introduction. So we were the first one through the one of the bridesmaids and me. We danced our way into the reception as well, and so we did that, and then everyone came in, and their wedding cake, underneath the bottom of the wedding cake was a little Deadpool. Or the
Hey, dropping
Did you hear
out
me?
again.
Of
Nah.
course. I saw that look in your face, like
It's like, give it 10 more seconds. Give it 10 more seconds.
Let's see, did the sneak
All right.
tornado come up and hit the building yet? Oh, wait, no, we're good.
so. At the bottom of the wedding cake was a small Deadpool underneath the cake, partly sticking out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was funny. So then they did started off the dancing. The first dance, the father daughter dance, the mother son dance, and then they pulled everybody out to do the first slow dance of the night.
Wow.
So I had nobody to dance with, so I wasn't going to dance the slow dance. My sister saw me and came over. I said, nope. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to. Well, I guess I'm going to be that guy at the wedding dancing with his sister.
Oh, man.
That reminds me in a way of the whole nope line. Reminds me of something that I may or may not have said on the stream before involving dancing with someone. So I know the feeling, dude. Different situation, know the feeling.
Who didn't you want
Yeah.
It starts with the D. It's a long story. I'm not going to crash the stream right now, though, because Aaron's telling his good story, but mine's good, too.
So we're doing the slow dance. It's just that small kind of just rock and going clockwise. And my hips proceeded to start to hurt.
I can imagine.
So yeah, my hips just started hurting and just kept getting worse. Just doing that dance, I'm like, I had to stop and just stand there for a couple of seconds, like, ah. And so I actually on the dance floor later on popped both my hips by just like leaning over, one leg on the ground, one leg sticking out, and popped my hips, which helped a little bit. But there was people, and I call them kids. So for one of the dances, like you stand it up like this and you go one foot out like this, and you got to jump, put the other foot out. I'm like,
Yeah.
my hips were hurting so bad,
Man.
just from going in circles, just that slow dance in circle. Like I was dying. So like you could see everybody out there like doing real fast. I looked like the ridiculously slowest person in the world, not able to do what everyone else is doing. So Save a Horse Ride, a cowboy came on from Big and Rich, and my brothers and I were out there. We were just being goofballs. We were actually up front at one point in time, to where the DJ said, "All right, these three guys up there, they're going to teach you guys how to do this dance." And so we're up there. So there's a video I was tagged in on Facebook of me and my brothers doing that. And so that video that I took and shared on Twitter and everything was obviously from me. So I didn't have to do a lot of moving there. I would just move around, my upper body and just sing to it.
Yeah.
So my last brother, my youngest brother, is the one who actually comes in, the other one with the cowboy hat on, and he's just all baby face. It's like he is the baby of the family, and he's got the face to prove it.
And
Yeah. So the only person who would feel older than me would be Calvin if Calvin was there. With his knees. My hips and his knees.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm still
Yeah.
waiting to hear back from the urgent care place about my scheduling. I think they were closed today because of Memorial Day is my guess.
I can see that.
Yeah, that or they have like a skeleton staff in there to deal with your usual. I broke my hand, playing tackle football, or slice my finger open trying to make avocado toast or something like that, which happens. So
What?
you'd be surprised how many people actually get seriously injured and are sent to the ER trying to cut up avocados and mangoes because they're so
stupid.
Only in California.
Well, the people will actually put their avocados in the fridge and try to cut them. I had a friend who did that. Like, it's frozen solid pretty much because it's soft on the inside. So you've hardened it by putting it in the fridge. It's not what you do. You don't leave it in the fridge. That's not going to help it. So you can't just go and cut it up because you got to cut it. Yeah, you can cut it in half and probably separate the two pieces, but you can't scoop the pulp out of it. I'm not sure if that's called pulp or not, but I'm going to call it pulp. You can't scoop that out because it's almost solid. It's next to impossible. So obviously they're going to try to do a knife and stuff, but you have to do that knife to cut it, but then to get the seed out. A lot of people don't know how to get out properly. And the proper way is to set the avocado down, and then you leave it there, and you take the knife and you pop it into the seed itself, and then you twist it.
Yeah. I think we've lost him. There he's back.
Every time it freezes, I'm just like
Everything went black.
And see, on my end, everything looks fine. Like I just see Jimmy go. Just like a dog that hears a funny sound.
oh gosh. Mangoes though are the worst because those, once you start to cut them open, because they're really fibrous and they got the big old seed inside. Once you start to cut them open, that juice might as well be like engine oil. It's so slippery. It's so easy for just to slip out.
Oh my gosh.
Hand.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I've definitely cut mangoes open, and my suggestion is obviously cut it on the sides and then cut it straight down by the seed itself. since the seed's kind of shaped like that, to just go right by it. And that's kind of the best way to cut them. And then you can deal with the skin later on.
Yeah.
So
I know Alton Brown from Good Eats has like a whole video dedicated just to how to safely cut mangoes. And that's where he brings up the fact that more people are sent to the ER every year from cutting mangoes than from, I forget, attacks from like some critter that's known to attack people or something like that, which is crazy. But according to ER room statistics, yeah, it happens. I mean, you're working with sharp knives and things. It's not surprising, but oh well.
Do you get a discount from your health provider if you almost not to eat any mangoes?
Maybe vegans' rates are higher because they're going to have more root-related injuries.
More knives involved.
Oh gosh, so bad.
It's like, seems like a very California chat. There's only a broad problem with this. He's not in California.
You know what, Missouri? Do you know about this? That's wrong. That's totally wrong.
We know it way down deep. Aaron's a true Californian.
Oh heck yeah. He just needs to find his inner Californian, eats in and out, and it will instantly convert him.
I've never asked him this. Do you drive a Prius by any chance?
nope.
Or do you drive like the big old lifted truck with like the shotgun rack in the back and the big old American flag and some hay bales for your homies? I mean your for Boda and his buds to hang out in.
His ringtone's dueling badges.
He secretly dresses like this when he's not on camera. He takes his shirt off and he's just wearing overalls and that's it.
Stereotypes everywhere, I tell you.
No, I drive a Chevy Colorado, so.
Hey, that's not bad.
No lift. No lift.
You got a gun rack in the back window, though, right?
No.
No? Oh,
What?
wow.
Oh man, that's not cool.
Oh, a lot.
Times have changed.
Even if it's fake, you just need the shotgun rack in the back just to scare everybody.
With a fake shotgun.
Yeah. It's like a totally airsoft shotgun that is clearly, it's a fake, but
Airsoft shotgun. There's a Californian for you right there.
you know what I mean. Just 3D print a prop one, whatever.
No, what you do if you want to scare somebody, that you put an AR-15 up in the back window. Oh my God!
No, we all know an AR-15 bullet's going to go right through you, and a shotgun bullet's going to go. But the AR-15 is scarier, so hashtag demonetized.
No, a shotgun slug is much more dangerous.
Yeah, for the people that have never shot a gun, your shotgun is scarier than an AR-15. An AR-15 is only called an AR-15 for the name of the company, which is alt-right.
Yeah.
It's like WD-40 is only WD-40 because
and you'll get a bullet the size of the end of your finger hole through you. Where a shotgun is like...
Yeah, shotgun shell's about 3-4 inches long. Depending on the round that you're using, you got buckshot, you got birdshot. Birdshot, you get a whole bunch of little BBs in there. Buckshot, you can get bigger balls in there.
Then you get your shotgun slugs.
your deer slug.
Yeah, or you get your slugs, which the slugs are the scariest of them all because they're a huge lead kind of cylinder that just breaks apart and flies and just like that. From this to
yeah.
And so I've shot several different shotguns. I've got a pump shotgun. It's really funny to see my wife try to hold it because she's like 5 foot. And the gun's like almost her entire height. So she can't get the butt up against shoulder or hold it. So I've got that, but I've also shot one that actually holds 14 rounds. It's like 7 on each
Oh
side.
wow! Yeah. Is that the one that's got the spinning, where you shoot somebody and that spins?
No, it So you got your barrel here. Then on this side you got another one chamber, and then on this side you got another chamber, so it can swap between both chambers.
Oh wow!
And I was actually skeet shooting with that one, which you had no sight on that shotgun. And the skeet, and we're throwing the skeets by hand with a little
Yeah.
top little disc tosser. And well, my brother-in-law changed it to, so you got regular just a bird shot, and then changed one of them to like buckshot. So you're doing birdshot. All of a sudden, there's a buckshot in there. And for anybody that's shot buckshot, that thing kicks. You got more gunpowder. So birdshot, you got like that gunpowder. Buckshot, you got like that much. And that sucker kicks. So I was sitting there and doing the skeet shoot, and all of a sudden, boom, just kicks you back. You're like, what? Trying to keep it, not cursing on this one, since you're monetized.
That don't matter.
At this point, we've talked too much about things that go QQ. Hashtag demonetized totally. We all know.
But I got a friend, his dad has a skeet shoot, like a little thing that you can kind of set on. It will toss them out. We've actually tinkered with it and had it to hold like 4 at a time. But it's not supposed to hold 4 at a time, but we got it to hold 4 at a time. And so we're out at his dad's house in the field skeet shooting. And I'm kicking everybody's butt at skeet shooting. Not to toot my own horn, but it's hilarious that I'm doing so good. And it's only like my second time actually skeet shooting. And his dad goes, I want to take him quail hunting with me. Given that if I probably went quail hunting, I wouldn't hit a dang thing. I've gone deer hunting, and I've got no deer.
Yeah.
So
I've only gone to the range and done target shooting with a 9mm, I think 45 handgun, and an AR. But of them all, the AR I like the most because you could set it down like with the bag, and it was a red dot non-magnification scope. But once my friend dialed it in, it was pretty easy to start hitting targets at, I think, maybe 30 to 40 yards.
I mean, he didn't have the dual scope, where you got the red dot reticle on top, and then you've got this regular scope underneath.
No,
that's what I got.
No. it was just an experience to get to do that for the very first time a couple years ago. That was really fun. But yeah,
I've shot AR-15. Just like pretty much just longer. So not a whole lot to it. Come on, hop up. Tossing in an ID super quick. I can't even think of all the guns that I've shot. I've obviously shotgun, pistols. I've done 9mm, which is the most common pistol for people to shoot. Let's see. Glock. Several different types of shotguns. Single barrel, double barrel.
Have you ever shot a 1911?
Maybe.
Which do you like better, shooting a 1911 or a Glock?
Glocks are kind of square. That's the problem with a Glock.
Yeah.
It's like someone went into Tinkercad and just designed with blocks and go, all right, that's my gun.
That's exactly right.
Let's just round the edges a little bit.
I've always wanted to get a 45 caliber 1911. That's the gun I eventually someday I want to get.
I've shot high powered rifle with a scope on it, and like the bullet is about that long. It's a is it 50 cal? 40 cal? No, not 50 cal.
Oh,
Machine gun.
Beowulf 50 caliber.
Yeah, so yeah, just a single bolt action rifle of my dad's. And the first time I shot that thing, I got bit.
Oh man.
And it's got a scope, so you're looking through the scope, holding it. And I've been super skinny growing up all my life, so sitting there holding it, standing up, kind of resting it on a tree. Excuse me. And boom! My oldest brother, which was with me, just falls to the floor, to the ground, laughing, just rolling, laughing. It's just like because I mean, right on the eyebrow, it just bit me.
Man.
And that thing's got some force, especially when your eye is about that far away from the back, give or take.
I
Yeah.
think that you're supposed to shoot from the prone position, aren't you?
Well, it's like the 50 caliber Desert Eagle handgun. It's like
There's one worse than that, and I forget what the model is. But it's such a big round for a handgun that grown men, I'm talking big guys, have braces on their arms and everything else. They fire it, and they'll still come back and hit them in the head.
oh,
You talking about a judge?
What's that?
A judge?
Yeah, I think it is the judge. Was it a
And I've shot
500 or something like that?
something like that. I've shot judges, and they can shoot different calibers. I think I'm no gun expert, so I don't expect the proper stuff out of it. But I think there's a couple different rounds you in them. Obviously, there's for any bullet, you can have different count for your powder. So you get 1,000 grain, 2,000 grain, whatever. I forget what it is. But I've shot judges before, and they're just heavy as they are. Let's see. So my hand, about like that. I mean, you can get some judges that are smaller, but I mean, they're just huge. Some of them to where the barrel's about 8 inches long from back to front, or just the barrel. I mean, and the thing about guns is you can customize some guns completely, which is nice. Like the AR-15 is what a lot of people like about them.
It's the Barbie doll of the gun world.
Yeah.
You can accessorize it.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's just plastic on the outside. You just take a regular rifle and take the wood away from it and then slap plastic on it. And that's what you got.
Yeah.
Well, the other thing that helps is also all the pick-any rail accessory kits that they make, like for the main barrel shield part. You can get that in machine aluminum, and you can just stick anything on there. I've seen people put multiple lights, infrared illuminators, night vision scopes, GoPros. Yeah. It's just like people just go crazy with it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I think that's the thing that makes it look threatening to people is it's got all these accessories. It looks like an assault rifle, but it's just a rifle. People.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, I enjoy watching this show. That I don't know if it was on the BBC, but it was a British show called SAS Survival Secrets, and they were showing with ex-SAS guys what they would do, and they were showing in like a hostage scenario different ways that they could, breach a door. And it was interesting because they were using the Remington, I think 680 or something like that, shotgun with the Hatton round, which is essentially a gigantic plastic slug that they just shoot in at both the hinges, and then where the door lock is. Doesn't matter if it's a reinforced fire door, it just blows that completely out, and then they can just push the door down and get in if they don't have time to set breaching charges. They'll just bang, 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 doors down, get in there, do their deal. It's insane.
So they've got beanbag rounds for regular shotguns. And did you guys know that the beanbag round used to be spherical?
Yeah.
Like when they were trying it, but they got rid of that. So now you kind of got a sphere, but you got a tail to it. Because whenever they would shoot it, it would spin like this, and it would burrow into the skin. So they had to get rid of that part. I mean, you got your rubber balls that you can get shot with. Those things hurt like dickens. But just don't get shot with them. Don't do anything to get shot with them.
Stupid to deserve it.
or it's like pepper balls that you'd see on like Dog the Bounty Hunter and stuff. I mean, those are definitely, the company even says never shoot at the head, never shoot directly at the chest or the spine, because they still hit with enough force they could cause serious injury. The idea is you almost want to hit it at a hard target next to the person, so it atomizes the powdered capsaicin, and then that gets into their eyeballs, and that's what generally causes irritation. But
Let's go for the bear mace. Be done with it. Whoosh.
This was a Dog the Bounty Hunter where they accidentally pull the pin on the mace and mace everybody in the room by accident.
Oh God! I watched
so obviously,
years.
Hey, we were talking about it over lunch.
I know.
So obviously, I used to be a corrections officer, so I've pepper sprayed a couple of people before, and I've fumigated the room where I just like I couldn't be in there. We had one guy who'd just walk in there, just like everybody else is just choking, and he just lives off this stuff. And everyone's just choking from the fumes in the air. But man, that stuff is brutal. Like I've spread it in the hallway, and oh my gosh, everybody was choking up, and they were pissed off at the guy for that it got sprayed. But I pepper sprayed a kid. He was a mouthy little cuss, and he would not listen, no matter what was said. And I gave him time after time after time to just, calm down. Just, listen and tell me, who he is, everything. Just do what he's told to do. So being nice, and then I started getting some tone with him saying, if you don't do this, I'm going to spray you. If you don't shut up, you will get sprayed. And this is a brand new thing of Fox pepper spray that like the police carry that I got. And he wasn't listening, mouthing off. And so I turned around, and I just kind of do an arc like that, but I get right in his face. And his mouth was open. His eyes were open. And he's sitting there drooling. And so dispatch got an officer finally up there. And this kid's just drooling and crying. You didn't have to spray me. Just drool going down. And he had shorts on. And not just shorts. He had those kind of basketball shorts that got the double layer that have holes in them. And all this drool was going down, and it seeped through his shorts onto his manhood.
Burn.
Yeah.
I hope this kid learned his lesson after the end of this before it hit that part. but I darn well think it. I think it left an impression after it hit that part of him.
So he's on the ground, just sobbing, just drooling everywhere. I get him water so he can wash out his face and stuff, and but just drool going everywhere. And I walked into the other room, calm, cool, and collected, after he said like his jewels were burning, and I fell to the floor out of sight. Because he's like it burns, like because he's just drooling everywhere. Like, I guess he didn't have boxers on or something. I don't know, but his junk was on fire. And so on the ground, the officer gets in there and we get him kind of cleaned up and sent to the back. He's a dumbass. He takes a hot shower.
Oh!
And we all know what happens when you take a hot shower. It opens your pores.
Yeah, let's all of it in.
The guys told him, take a cold shower. Take a cold shower. And no one wanted him back there with him because he's covered in that box spray. So he was in one of the side cells where the shower was. And so he gets all showered off and he's just screaming because it opened up his pores.
I guess he didn't learn his lesson. My bad.
From all of it going all over. So it just goes all the way down. So he apologizes to me later on and saying, I'm sorry, I've learned my lesson. And like some of the guys in there were like, you need to apologize. Like Aaron, he's like a really good, like one of the best guys there. He, does this for us, because I told the inmates, you give me respect, I give you respect. That's how this goes. I won't be an ass to you. You don't be an ass to me. That's all I ask. I mean, when you get some kids like that. So that kid, I know had seen him a couple of times. So, he learned his lesson from them to just not be mouthy. So he apologized. This kid could have done ebony and ivory. Red. And I kid you not, like, just see here, like, white. His whole front half was red as a freaking lobster.
Man.
He got so much crap by all the inmates. Not to mention, he fumigated inmates with that hot shower because the steam and all that was carrying all that out.
Oh. I've watched enough Lockup. I've watched enough Lockup, and let's just say, from what the film crew says, even wearing like protective masks and stuff when they do the pepper spray, a couple of them had beards and didn't realize it wasn't fully sealing. So they're filming, and it just starts to seep in. All of a sudden, they just can't see anything. But that is crazy.
It will let things through, unless you have a hazmat suit hood to go over. No, the beard will not seal it. You'd be better off just holding a rag full of water just over your mouth.
Yeah, because I was researching making an improved smoke hood as the final project for one of my classes, and that's obviously something my instructor brought up, is what about people with beards and stuff? I'm like, well, the smoke hood sealing around below your face, but it's like when I was doing a lot of welding, I had to keep my face shaved so I could get my respirator to seal right. Otherwise, it was pretty much pointless because I could just smell all the nasty stuff coming through because it wasn't sealing right.
You didn't like the smell of welding?
No, I had to weld on people's stuff that was galvanized.
Oh yeah, galvanized is pretty nasty.
Yeah, that's the main reason.
I had never used a respirator when I was welding galvanized. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. I'd be sick for a day afterward.
Yeah, I mean, we had a ventilation system that was welding right next to it. I'd tell people to grind off as much as they could, but still, you're always going to have some stuff there. And I told people, you don't have a respirator, so stay away. I'm going to weld this because I have one. But even then, I was trying to keep my distance, and tried to do it as fast as I could. So I didn't have this cloud of white hazy smoke hanging above. But and a couple of students did that and got out of it, and I give them a huge lecture about it. Like, you never, ever do that, especially when I'm in the building, or I'm gonna go off. I'm not gonna get zinc fume fever because you didn't listen to me and the instructor. But they're pretty much phasing out galvanized over there. It was just leftover scrap.
Yeah, it's best not to.
Yeah.
So tell us about your garden.
Oh, you mean the one that got flooded from all that rain?
Oh, it got flooded out.
So my yard was like a marsh the other. I was walking, I could just feel the ground just squish underneath. My dog, one of my dogs, the smart dog that he is, pulled his cable up and out from the spike that was in the ground. So the spike came out of the ground, and he went towards my gardens. And so he was around the one that's got all the tomato cages around my tomatoes, and tore stuff up.
Oh no.
Yeah. So I fixed what I could and straightened up the cages, and I got one tomato plant that's really beyond repair. I mean, I can't do anything other than see if it continues to grow. And another one, and then I got pepper plants, hot pepper and bell pepper and stuff like that, that he kind of tore up. So we'll see how that goes. I've got some okra growing. I've got zucchini growing. I've got plants that don't seem to be growing as well, but they're still there. They're green, so we'll see how those go. It's been I don't know how many years, 15 years or so since I've done watermelon. So I've got cabbage growing. I've got strawberries. I've got Brussels sprouts going. I've got my blueberry bushes in the ground, one that I've had for a couple of years, so it's planted. Up properly. Got a blackberry bush put in. We'll see how that goes. I've not had luck with them because every time I get them, they don't have leaves on them, so I can't ever tell if it's dead or not. The blueberry ones always have leaves, so I'll have to just kind of wait and see if anything comes of that. I've not seen any leaves pop up on it. No. My starter seeds that I've done for corn and stuff, they've not popped up yet, so I need to kind of go over and retill parts of that big garden, and then I've got a thing that I push, and it's got two wheels in the front, and it's got this kind of wheel that sets inside where you put all your seeds, and it spins around. You change the disc on it for different seeds, and so it will, for like beets or corn, for bigger seeds or smaller seeds, and it will go through and scoop so many seeds and plant them into the ground because it tills into the ground as well, so it will plant them.
That's cool.
And it's got this sidearm that's got like a Y like this, so when it folds like that or like that, it keeps it going straight, but it also kind of tills in for the next side where you're going to plant, so it gives a good spacing of where you need to go for how the distance apart. So I'll try that. I got that from my wife's grandma, and see how that works. But I need to till up the bigger garden a little more. The ag teacher across the street for the school, he's got a tiller that goes on the back of his tractor. I need to have him just come over and just retill up the parts that I don't have anything growing in, and so I don't have to do, with the hand tillers, even though it's electric or gas. That way I can get more stuff planted, get my corn in there, get my green beans going, and all that good stuff.
That's cool.
So
How big is the garden?
the biggest one is 30 by 53.
Whoa.
And the smaller one is, let's say, 12 by 20-ish feet. And then I've got a raised bed that's got the herbs in the uh, Brussels sprouts and the strawberries.
Wow. That is cool. So I assume you pretty much can grow all your food plus some extra really easily in that case.
Yeah, and that's the plan. I plan on canning food, and so I'll can tomatoes, I'll can strawberries, stuff like that. Green beans, do green beans, I'll do corn, do my own salsa. I've done my own salsa from stuff in my garden from a couple of years ago when we had a duplex. I made my own salsa. So I had corn planted, and I had storm that had hit, which had kind of knocked them over. And so I'd actually propped them up, and they grew fairly decent, which I was surprised. So I, shaved the corn, just kind of take a knife and just go like this all around to shave all the kernels off of it. Did that and made a kind of a corn. So I did corn, okra, celery. Obviously, you do tomatoes in there, garlic, and some other stuff. And I made my own homemade salsa, and that stuff was delicious.
Man.
Like, oh my gosh, like it was like some of the best salsa I've had in a long time. So I've been wanting to do that again.
That's gonna be good.
Yeah.
It's really cool. My parents' neighbors, I don't think they grow this stuff for it, but they're in Guatemala, and uh, his wife will make like extra salsa. So it's like almost every week my mom goes over there to drop something off, and then comes back with like a jar or two of salsa, but it is so good. I don't know what's in it, but it's good.
Crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife goes, could you build some shelves down in the basement to store, stuff that's canned? Yeah, I can do that. Of course I can. So eventually I'll get some shelves down there and have storage for all the canned goods.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool though that you can be that self-reliant, especially considering you're in somewhere that does get hit by really bad natural disasters. So obviously you can feed yourself and or your neighbors for a couple of days should, a terrible tornado come or something similar come barreling through there and you guys have to wait a couple of days for help to arrive. Canned food is never a bad idea, and it's also in the barter economy of a post-disaster area. Food is like next to like medical supplies on the valuables chart, if you will.
Oh yeah.
Especially if it's really good food too.
Oh yeah, and I mean there's no comparison to homegrown green beans.
Oh,
Yeah.
bad.
Just my parents have done where they did green beans in their garden, and mine I did in the raised bed didn't really come to fruition as well in the raised bed, which was partly in the shade stuff, just like the storms and stuff I had. Excuse me. But they had several. What was it? 5 rows maybe of green beans, and the rows were about 30 feet long.
Yeah.
And I mean, the green beans were like plants were about a 6 to inches to a foot apart. So many green beans.
Oh yeah.
So I just went out there a couple of years ago and just picked and we canned them.
You just keep
So-
picking them.
Mm-hmm.
That's the cool thing about them.
Yeah, that's the nice thing about green beans is they just keep coming.
Yeah.
It's
almost-
so
almost like
many
okra.
hosts. Yeah, okra does the same thing.
Yeah. Cut them off.
Oh my gosh, I had some a couple of years ago, a couple of okra plants that the base themselves was about that thick.
Oh.
Yeah, like it was ridiculous to take that thing out of the garden and growing and just kept getting okra off of it. And fried okra is delicious.
I've never had fried okra, but I've had I think it was gumbo from a place in San Francisco that sells these little pie things. It was pretty good, but I know it's definitely not the same as true Southern
Gumbo from San Francisco.
Well, fly to Florida and get some.
Florida?
Where should I go for good gumbo, Jimmy?
You gotta go back
Colorado?
No, you don't go to Colorado.
Oh, that's where you get good weed.
You gotta go to Louisiana. That's where you get the best one.
Sorry.
you know somebody that's from
or Mississippi.
Oh my God. Yeah, Mississippi.
Louisiana or Mississippi.
Yep.
Good. Let's take a road trip to see Aaron then and get me some gumbo.
Yep.
I'll just read my bank account for gas. Oh, right. It's not $5 a gallon out there. I forgot.
Yeah, we could go twice as far.
Considering I saw the quote cheap Valero in Salinas is now up to $3.87 again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh well.
And if you go up to Yosemite, it's 501.
Reminds me of Shoshone, which is this tiny town between Barstow and it's about halfway between Barstow and the center of Death Valley, if you will. Little tiny town outside there. I remember when Danielle and I were leaving, going out, gas was over $5 a gallon for Chevron out there. But when you consider it's literally an hour and a half to Barstow, hour and a half to Barstow, and Barstow gas is not cheap. The fact that they have to truck it out all the way, it's understandable why it's that expensive.
It was just like Gorda out here on down the coast. I believe, I haven't checked, but I bet you it's very close to that right now. Because they just literally rape people. That's horrible.
Also, I think they also probably inflate the price a little bit as well, so people don't go in there and try and suck the underground tank dry.
Oh, here's what they do is they actually use it for the generator that runs the town.
Really?
So you're pretty much taking from what they use to live on. So
well, I mean, where
they're like, you want some of our gas? We'll give you some of our gas. That's with caution.
Well, I mean, where Shoshone is, there's a lot of open, like there's a lot of recreational areas. So a lot of people, when we were driving
recreational pod areas.
Right?
like recreational areas in the desert where you can take your off-road vehicles and stuff. We went by a whole lot of them. And because it was closer than Barstow, a lot of people were going there to build their campers and things like that before they drove back to Barstow. So I think they probably slightly jacked the rate up and go in there and just pump their camper full of 50 gallons of gas and suck the underground tank dry in a day. But, you know, I mean, it was nice that it was there because we put in like a gallon or two's worth of gas just so we knew we had enough to get to Barstow. And we ended up poking around the town and went to a cool museum and stuff out there. But while it was expensive, it was nice to have just so we knew that we could get to Barstow without running out.
Yeah.
Because the 4Runner was great, rest in peace, but it also drank gas.
Yeah. Well, before we end the stream, I guess we should talk about something about 3D printing so we're not completely forsaken by the community.
Oh, who gives crap? Are we going to talk about
what
Brutus right here?
No, we're going to talk about Aaron's critters. What critters do you have now? You didn't hear us.
Oh, he has harpios.
Oh, wait a minute here. What are you telling us?
He has a Prusa.
You got a Prusa?
No.
Oh, man.
If Prusa wants to send me one, I'll take one.
Right?
If Artillery 3D wants to send me a Sidewinder, I will gladly take it with open arms.
I will take one too.
Hey, I'm a person.
Well, I had, which one was it? Jenny from Sidewinder. I had posted. It was on Twitter and Facebook about in the Sidewinder group on Facebook that they've given away, like raffled off, filament and Sidewinders. So now I'm part of the group, just in case.
There you go.
I do have to say though, as far as the groups go, I'm on the GTech forum and I'm on the Sidewinder forum, and the Sidewinder one has a few trollish people, but it is nothing compared to the GTech one. So the community out there is really good as well.
I don't know when it happened. They made me a moderator on the
GTech.
I've been on since GTech started their stuff. I've been a moderator, but they actually sometime or other made me a moderator of the Sidewinder.
Right.
Yeah, speaking of high five, you'd be surprised who I approved last night.
You mean you didn't?
Yeah, I was surprised to see that name come across, and I'm like, oh, approved.
I know that feeling being the moderator of the Kit Dash Brothers Facebook page.
So, Joel, that was less than 30 seconds from the time you hit join to the time that you were approved.
I know that feeling being an admin on the Kit Dash Brothers, which is the 3D printed model train site that me and my Facebook page that me and my friend Scott run. And it's funny because I'll see people that I know and I really want to should I really let you into this group? And I'm like, no, I know you add. Be like, should I really add you, Richard? Are you really wanting to join this madness?
He says, Jimmy, hey, I know that guy. That's exactly how I'm like, no. Okay.
Oh, great.
And that was the last time that Artillery spoke to me, because now they've got Joel.
They need my skinniness on there. All like 125 pounds at this point.
Oh, goodness. So, have you been on Twitter today?
Not a lot.
So there was a conversation struck up where I believe it was Joel was printing something, and the comment came across where somebody was pretty much referring to 3D printing as far as for cosplay and that kind of stuff, that people are going too far with the 3D printing, that it's become a crutch. Pretty much 3D printing is stifling the creativity portion of designing costumes or whatever for cosplay. What's your feelings on that?
Always right when I stick one in my mouth.
It's part of the reason why I put you on the spot.
Wait, what did he say?
He's eating a Prusa
Candy.
Yeah. A Prusa bear.
Just waiting for Prusa to come out with Prusa candy.
Prusa bear.
Prusa doesn't send these guys though. This is the Star Mix.
Ooh.
You know what's the best, in my opinion, is the raspberries. Those are the best.
All right. So.
Wash that down with a Coke.
It's a Dr. Pepper. Get your sodas right there, Jimmy. Get them right.
You gotta wash down that sugar with that sugar.
Yes.
Or is my former
Why
roommate?
do you think I'm so sweet, Jimmy? Why do you think I'm so
I know.
sweet?
Or as my former roommate from Singapore would say, "Oh my God, how do you hear I have diabetes?"
Yeah,
like everybody.
got it.
That's pretty much what I said. Not yet. We're working on it.
Tell her breathe deep. Sweet air of freedom for a reason.
So to answer your first question.
Oh gosh.
So to answer your first question, I've still got the two printers. I've got the A8 and I've got the PrintarBot. So those are still that I have, and not really had time to do a lot of printing lately, which sucks because I would like to get some stuff so I can do a maker fair this year. I mean, I'm one for practical prints, but sometimes you just want to showcase some stuff that printing can do. I told you last time I was talked to you that the ag teacher for the school has asked if I'd print some stuff for him. So I'm printing the gears to replace for his belt sander since he cannot order them anymore since it's apparently too old. So that's going to be something I have, like the gears, because I've printed gears for the regular copier printers to do that.
He's looking at a print over his monitor of his computer, so he's all like,
Just making sure everything's
that.
working. Good grief.
How you doing, Prince?
yeah.
You're gonna do good this time.
I'm just fine, Aaron. It's all good in here, man. It's happening.
This Naja Twa thing going on here,
It's all love in here, man. All right now, I'm Snoop Dogg. Just all love. I can see you. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah, so I wanna get some stuff done there. I've actually joined. Figure there's different groups that I've been a part of on Facebook, and I joined the DO Builders Club a few weeks back. And I don't know if you guys know what DO is.
No.
But DO is the brand new droid in the brand new Star Wars movie coming out this December.
Oh, really?
The thing is like a foot tall, maybe. And you can print it on like the wheel itself. I've seen people print it on an Ender 3.
Wow.
So I was like, all right, I can do that on my A8.
Is this the fire prone ANET A8 that we're talking about? Oh.
Now this is fire prone that Aaron's put MOSFETs on.
Good to know.
Oh, wait a minute.
Things.
You gotta say this properly because I got completely roasted over this one. It's the external MOSFET.
Well, yes, external
If
MOSFET.
you don't say external, they bring out the pitchforks and the torches and they come after you.
Well, I did say I put on the MOSFETs.
Well, you would think that would like flow with it didn't come with it. It was put onto it. But apparently people can't seem to distinguish something being put on from the external portion.
Yes, these are MOSFETs. A MOSFET that I bought separately to actually go on it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
New
Off
concept.
Amazon people.
And the
Off
funny thing is
Amazon
nobody
people.
ever calls it a MOSFET when it's on the board.
No.
But there's still there is an internal MOSFET.
Yes.
It's just not as good.
No, they just say they burned up their board.
And, I've had issues with it before, like for the heated bed, where it wobbled enough to where it arced it and burnt that plastic. So I replaced that completely, but replace it again. Like I had resoldered it, hard soldered it myself. But I replaced it again by putting the Ultra Base on there anyway. So brand new board, heated bed, all that. So
Nice.
That's really cool.
Which it looks so much better in my videos to see the Ultra Base right there, just that black glass kind of texture just looks sexy to me. And I've got another one that I want to toss on the Printar bot at some point in time. Because I bought one and I won one.
Nice.
So, so I mean, so yeah, there. So, got to do that. I'm going to do some stuff. I want to enclose that Printar bot so I can print that piece in ABS plastic. That way, it can withstand a little more heat and wear and tear. I'm gonna do I want to do PETG, but I want to try some ABS. I've got a spool that I've had from Maker Geek forever that I've not printed with because I can't. Now I can if I just enclose it.
Yeah.
So, which Maker Geek has completely gone under.
Yeah.
Which sucks because it's literally was local for me. So.
So I have to ask, did you see that fire suppression system that Matter Hackers is now selling?
No, I do not.
It's a tube that's pressurized with a hydrofluorocarbon gas that's used extensively in electronics applications for fire suppression. And I guess if it reaches over 200 degrees Fahrenheit, it works almost like a fire sprinkler. It will then release the gas inside to suppress a fire. And I was thinking, would that be a good idea or not for your now upgraded ADA? Considering all of the claims that people have about them, like magically spontaneously combusting.
How much is that fire suppression system?
Not cheap.
Huh.
The drawback to that is it leaves dust everywhere that's super messy.
Or you can just gas yourself to death with
Actually, that gas is designed so that way it does not need to be in a high enough concentration that it will harm you, but it will be enough to put out a fire. I've done research on it.
Okay, so it'll put out a fire by smothering it because it's going to remove the oxygen portion of the fire triangle, right?
There's something about it chemically that causes it to.
Well, either it's got to remove the fuel, it's got to remove the ignition source, or it's got to remove the oxygen. Correct?
Yeah, I think what it does is I think you can have down to 50% oxygen concentration and still be okay. I'm not saying you would stay in the room indefinitely, but it gives you enough time to be in there and safely. It's not like a CO2 or nitrogen system where you got to evacuate immediately or it's going to overcome you. But their system costs $156.
$40, worst case scenario.
Yeah.
I'll take my chance with my balls. That's not right.
How many do you have?
2.
Oh! I mean, believe me, both systems are a system of absolute last resort. You'd obviously.
Yes. Let's face it, if there's a fire, the last thing you care about is what contents are in the room that's got some powder on it or whatever. The main thing is to make sure the fire doesn't burn your house down.
Yeah. Which reminds me, at some point, we should
set off a ball?
You may want to donate to buy another one. I was going to say, it's something to revive the CW Fire Killer 5000 propane tank.
Yes. I've got the tank. I've got the
so I don't have a problem with their suppressant system. I mean, the problem I have is $150 for it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand on it.
Yeah.
And like the system of it, I understand completely. Like, it's probably worth $150 to have. But for me, with 2 printers, I've got a baby. I can't afford to do that.
Honestly, I can see it working though in a situation like, say, Lowe's Club, where they have all those printers inside of an enclosed chamber. You set those up in there. It can. I mean, something like that. So if one of the printers catches on fire and something goes catastrophically wrong, the other machines can theoretically keep running, and all you got to do is just pull the dead machine out, and it's not destroyed.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, people that have, like a farm, that would be worthwhile to, not have it burn one and then everything else.
Yeah.
Given I don't want any of my printers to catch fire, but
yeah, count us in on all of us in on that, Ron.
That's obviously a lot of money that they have invested in their stuff. So they farm, they should definitely invest in that. Fire extinguisher or one of those balls that from spreading everywhere would be a good thing. Yes, Jimmy, I see what you balls.
Balls.
I mean, it's like at work we have
balls.
We have a Halon fire extinguisher next to the laser cutter, rule of thumb is if you can't put the fire out by killing the laser or blowing on it, don't hesitate to use the fire extinguisher. But if you do, we have to evacuate the building because of potential for toxic fumes being released from it interacting with the combustion product.
I understand what you mean. We have a halon fire system here. You can see the alarm there. There's actually a switch where I can pull it off and stop it and cancel it and stuff in the hallway. But yeah, you gotta leave the room. You gotta go away because that's not good for us.
Yeah, I mean it's better than burning alive, but you don't want to be.
It's true.
I mean,
in some exposure to it is not going to be the best, but as long as you're not breathing it in, you're trying to hold your breath at least to get through if it goes off. But it's better than having water go everywhere, especially with a lot of electronic equipment.
Yeah. I've
bad situation there.
Yeah. I've studied fire suppression systems, and they're definitely interesting. They're a whole science in and of itself, for sure.
You get a kick out of Guinness. Funny, even still, when you hear the word ANA, you think fire.
Yeah, I just read that. Yes, that's what a lot of people said. ANA, okay, fireball.
But then when people hear the word 3D printer, instantly they think.
And I understand. I mean, this is legit.
So let me ask you this: do you start a print and then leave the house, or are you the type where you just have to stay there no matter what, as long as the printer's running?
Well, since I've run my printer so much and I know how it acts and everything that it does, I watch it for my first layers. I try to see how it's going to print, because the weird thing if I switch between PETG and PLA, there's that stupid height difference that I have to compensate for. Like PLA, if I print at the height that I have to print for the PETG to set properly, not curl up, my PLA gets embedded and just like stuck to the base. So for PETG, I got to make sure it's lower, but PLA, I got to make sure it's higher.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it just varies on what I'm going to do. PETG, I really kind of sit there and watch it and make sure. I mean, I could put glue stick down on the Ultra Base and do the same thing. But, I mean, that's kind of what the Ultra Base is for, is so I don't have to do that. Right. And for the most part, I don't, which is nice. But I do sit there and watch, kind of see how my layers are going to go, because if it's going to, if the flow rate is just not good enough, I'll tweak it on the printer itself and increase my flow rate, and that usually will help things stick. So I can cancel it, start it again after wiping it, isopropyl alcohol down. Excuse me. And then start it again. I mean, I do the same thing with PLA. I try to make sure that it's going to stick all throughout the print. Dang it. Excuse me. So depending on if I've just got a small piece or multiple pieces throughout the plates on the build plate, I try to see how they're all doing. So I mean, I did what you've done, where you screw the screws all the way down, and you got your springs tight, and you kind of just level it up, and you don't have to keep leveling your print bed ever again, pretty much. And that's been a fantastic advice that I got from you quite a while ago.
So you mean you don't have to have a BL Touch or any of those other auto leveling devices on your printer?
I mean, having a BL Touch would be nice for the inconsistencies in the bed. That would be nice. Yeah. But obviously inductive one, because it's a glass bed, so that does not do me any good. But no, I mean, you don't have to have a BL Touch. You don't have to have the biggest, fanciest machine out there. I mean, I've had this A8 since 16, I think, 2016.
Wow.
17, around there. and I do prints on it. I mean, heck, just the 8.8 with the standard nozzle I got with it, I printed all those pumpkins, that 500 and some hours worth of printing on an 8.8. So obviously I had to step away from it because those pumpkins took hours to print.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I'll step away from my prints. I was printing a kind of a little steady cam in pieces recently, and got all the pieces printed. I need to clean them up and get the bearings and stuff in there. I was actually going to use it to film my brother's wedding, but then my brother had someone say that he couldn't do it because he had to work, he couldn't get off work. So then I was one of the groomsmen. Excuse me. So I could not film the wedding. So they actually got a video of it, which is probably a lot better than me with a couple of GoPros. Just setting GoPros up and moving around. So, which I would have done. Heck, I was even going to just set GoPros up and then have my laptop with my nice webcam on there and record kind of a closer up shot as much as possible so I can have a couple different angles and then get audio as well from them. Let's see, the nice thing is that camera guy, he had a mic pack on my brother and his wife.
Oh, nice.
So there's, I don't have that. So see right there, it's much better. But yeah, I mean, I've started prints as long as it's sticking, and I make sure that it will go, and I'll walk away. I mean, I'll check it periodically if I'm home, which I'll film some too if I do that. If I don't have the GoPro going, but then obviously I go to work, and if I come back, I check it, see if it's done, if it somehow failed or not. So the last time I did that and not properly watched to see if it stuck, I had a big blob on my nozzle.
Oh, no.
So because it kind of came off and stuck, and it wasn't too hard to get off. So not too hard to do.
Usually, if you heat it up, and then you usually just pull it right off.
Yeah, I mean, there's issues with it after that.
Yeah.
Because it stuck to it. Well, the heating element with heater cartridge, is that what we call it? Cartridge, thermistor. Because the thermistor is the sensor, so heater cartridge stick. Anyway, the heating element for it, right where it goes in. Yeah, it will go in and stick there, but you got right there that wires going into it. That plastic will stick to it, and it doesn't like to come off. And you can heat the stuff up really hot and kind of clean the cartridge off, which will help. And then you just take a wire, heat it up, turn it off, take a wire brush to it, kind of clean it all around. But you got that base right where the wires go in that you can't really do that with. So you will get some burning plastic smell there. I have found the best way and the cheapest way for anyone who wants to know how to keep plastic off of your extruded block. So before you put it all onto it, once you get your block together and you know where it needs to be, whether it's a Bowden tube or a direct drive like I have, take your heater block, take Kapton tape, and wrap the crap out of it.
Yeah.
And wrap, once you get it on the block going every which way you can possibly do it, wrap it onto the cord for the heater cartridge going out.
That's a good idea.
That way, if it sticks to it, you heat it up, it will pop off, and you can just replace that Kapton tape if you need.
That's a good idea.
It is the easiest way to do it because I've actually had it try to stick to it after I had that Kapton tape on there, and it came right off. Just heat up the block and pull the plastic off.
Every time you pull that stuff, it takes and triggers the camera.
I'm trying to do it as quietly as I
Go ahead
can.
and show what you're doing. He's pulling support material off a print. He go. Did you see him over here? He's like, just like all of a sudden he smelled somebody, over here been eating too many beans or something. Wasn't me. I don't know where that smell came from.
Man, I should talk about bean burritos for the stream tonight. Man.
Have a good one, Rick. Thanks for joining.
Have a good one.
Night, Rick.
Rick.
I was actually going to answer that second question.
We completely forsook the chat tonight. You know that, right?
Yeah, but the chat wasn't lit either.
Damn. Did you hear that? He said the chat's not lit. The chat is not lit.
Brian, that's all your fault, Brian.
There, so that was cool.
Night, Brian.
Earlier.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because I don't want to Helen and Nancy all the terrible things I said in the car the other night. So
BB3D's out too. Have a good night, BB3D.
Good night.
All right. So your second question. Yeah, you better be sorry, Brian. You better be sorry. It is all your fault. So your second question on the cosplay thing, and Rick P says cosplay 3D printing. Oh, jeez. Well, okay, I will let it slide this one time because you're trying to fix your air conditioner with 3D printing. Just this once, Brian. Just this once.
Actually, this kind of falls into it. Doesn't this mean that he used this as kind of a crutch because he didn't actually take some wood and cut it and form it the proper way? Or
just buy a whole new fan outright? I mean, come on.
Such a cop out.
Horrible.
3D printing to fix something? My God, man. I'm joking, by the way.
You guys can't tell.
That's what I do all the time. So cosplay, which I've printed a helmet, some small helmets, but I've actually got an Iron Man helmet I need to piece together, and I actually want to use my 3D pen to help do that.
I'll use my crutch. Thank you very much.
Oh gosh.
Use that crutch, Brian. Use that crutch.
I forget, is BB from Uten, Canada?
No,
are you
he's
trying to
Texas.
insult somebody from Canada? What's wrong with you?
I just said he's from Uten, Canada.
Uten? Uten?
He's in Texas. Yeah. He's in Texas.
Right?
Oh, yeah, go print the parts, man.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
Hey, it was your idea to have
go print the parts.
I don't have a problem with people 3D printing for cosplay because there's some things that people can make out of foam that is actually heavier than it would be to do a 3D print on. Because you have that. Jeez, Calvin.
I'm going to ride my horse here over to the store to buy me some filament so I can print me a crutch.
Oh,
I need to burn this stream with fire.
Oh,
jeez, that's fine.
There's some other people I'm really glad aren't in here tonight, so you can try mocking their accents while you're at it.
And so, you get like the 3D printed pistols that from like Blade Runner. I'm sorry, but there's only so much you can do with foam, EVA foam, and you could also do 3D printing and make casts. casts that are the so you got your negative and positives for your casts.
Yeah.
So your positive would be the actual form, I think, like of the helmet, and then you get your negative, which would be
A cast of the positive.
yes. But do like say Star Wars on how they originally did Star Wars. You have your positive one, and then you get your negative cast out of it. But if you did a positive to make a negative to make a positive, you could use the 3D printing to do that. So you do your positive print, you get all of that detail in. So say you want to, PLA plastic. You want to do a stormtrooper outfit in PLA plastic. You want to vacuum form all that. You've got all the designs for everything done. So you print that with so much infill. Once you have that print done, you clean it up, get it all done.
Nothing.
Sorry,
The hole in the build tag.
you did, didn't you?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I was just thinking.
The look on his face over there, he's all praying like.
No, I didn't. No, if I got the hole in your build tag, I'm gonna buy you a new sheet. No, I was just trying to not trip the camera. Sorry.
Sorry for interrupting you.
That's all right. But whenever you want to do that for your, so you got your positive to make your negative, to make your positive, say, out of concrete.
Yeah.
Concrete form to last a lot longer to do it. Whenever you go to form it with your actual last mold that you want to do, the positive, you want there to be at space. So you want there to be wood or an extra thing on there. So however you want to do it. So you can make your form whenever you vacuum it down to it. So you have that extra bit that you can cut off. So, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, the things that we can do now with 3D printing that would take someone hours to set their end. Excuse me, not just hours. I mean, it could be months of going over and taking clay and carving on the clay to get the design that you want. You could 3D print something and then check it, see how it is, design it in CAD, and print a mock-up thing of it and be like, here's this mock-up of this. How does this work? Is this design of this Blade Runner pistol work for you? Your hand, and you know what? For props for movies, 3D printing is perfect.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, 3D printing is nothing more than a tool. The 3D printer is a tool. It's like Chuck Kilbuck has said. It's in his shop because it's no different than his circular saw. It's no different than a drill. It's no different than a jigsaw. It's a tool. So if a person wishes to use 3D printing as a medium for producing something, to bring something that they've got in their brain and bring it to real life by 3D modeling it, what's the issue? I don't understand where people say, well, it's a crutch, because maybe the person doesn't have the technique. Maybe they don't have the physical ability to mold wood into what they want, to take and shape different, sew different things together to make it exactly what you could do with 3D printing. And
well, you watch build range videos.
Want to just take a dump on it.
I think partly people demonize it just because they don't know what it's capable of. And they're also just hating because they can.
Or they're just jerks.
They're hating because they can.
But I mean, you can do so much with 3D printing, and there's sometimes so little you can do with it because you're limited on your support material.
Yeah.
And everything, and your clear lines. So I mean, if you want something high detailed, Calvin's got a resin printer. He can get fantastic detail with his resin printer.
Yeah.
His supports are completely different. He uses less on that. It can be faster than printing. I mean, depending on the size of your printer, just like with resin and FDM, you can get a nice big part or a nice. He prints stuff for model trains that are just freaking ridiculously small.
Yeah.
That would be hard to print. You could still print with an FDM one, but it wouldn't be as great on the detail, or you'd have to clean it up to get it to where you want it to be. So I mean, I think it's a great tool for everyone, and to be able to do it now compared to back in the day is amazing. And you know, the very first 3D printer I've ever seen growing up was
What's
in
that?
Jurassic Park.
Oh, really?
Yes, Jurassic Park, where they 3D print the Velocir's resonator, that little tube for the Velociraptor.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they 3D print it and then they pop it off. It is fantastic.
Man.
I now need to watch Jurassic Park to find that scene.
It is a great movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen parts of it when it was on TV, but I wasn't watching.
In Mountain Returns. So 1 and 2 are really good. 3 is okay, and then you get the sequels. A Lost World is really good. I've not seen The Fallen Kingdom yet. I want to. I've just not seen it yet. I actually watched Lost World in theaters when it came out, and I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm a big nerd, and to be able to finally actually go see a Jurassic Park movie in theaters, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's a bunch of stupid little advertisement crap that they had everywhere, you know, like Coca-Cola and all this other crap, and Bryce Dallas Howard freaking running in high heels everywhere to outrun a T-Rex, which she insisted on wearing them and just doing that. I was just like, okay.
I'm not against it.
You're gonna say that. So bad.
Yeah, I'm a dog. I know it.
We all know.
Poor Calvin got a dose of me today at work. I got out a little bit early so we can run over to Harbor Freight. He found all kinds of colorful language. I know.
Oh, there's all kinds of things that I've learned to not repeat anywhere near camera. Oh, heck no. Well, even over at work, some of the stuff that some of you I'm not going to repeat.
That's called shop talk.
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't repeat it. Well aware of shop
This
talk.
poor virgin ears.
With my Photoshop and Illustrator instructor.
Harbor Freight's one of my favorite places to go.
What's that?
Harbor Freight's one of my favorite places to go.
Oh yeah, I got this little. Have you ever seen that little? It's a little palm air ratchet, stubby one.
Huh?
I picked one of those up. I see. I should have just brought it out here and showed it.
You can say you need to show off one of your toys.
No, that's the only toy I got.
I also got a free crappy blue light and the air fitting for it.
Oh yeah, I did. I don't even know how to get this thing to go anymore. What in the world?
Windows 10 for you.
Huh?
Windows 10, where everything is not where it was last update.
I know it's. I've been fighting with my computer for 2 weeks now, trying to get it back up and running after the last Windows update failed and completely crashed my hard drive. And so I had to do a clean installation of Windows, which means I have to do a clean installation of my editing software and everything else. Yeah, I don't have any of my profiles for any of my printers, so I have to recreate all of them.
Just watch your videos of creating the profiles, Jimmy.
I know that's exactly right. Okay, here we go. Let me see if I can link to it. Screen share, application window. There it is.
Oh, isn't it so cute?
Ooh, that's not bad.
Yeah, and they had a coupon that was good for today only. It was 25% off. So I got that. I got the little air chuck thingy that goes on the end of it, and I got a free LED flashlight for $24 out the door, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, that's not bad at all.
Yeah. So
especially if you get a flashlight. I mean, those LED flashlights come in handy.
In fact, let me see if I can find that flashlight and see what the free flashlight looks like.
I wonder if it's the exact same ones that I have.
That one right there.
Honestly, those are nice. I keep at least 2 of those in the trunk of my car, and they come.
Let's see it, Jimmy. Let's see it. I can't see it.
It didn't show it?
Nope.
You need to redo screen share.
What?
You're doing a Calvin.
Son of a... There it goes.
Sound like something I'm not going to say on live stream.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they
I've got
those for free.
The problem I have had with that one, I've got the original one that had just the LED bulbs in there, and I have one of those. The one of those that I have, the magnet on it does not work.
Yeah, the magnet's not very strong at all on them for some reason.
Yeah, but the original ones, it did. It's obviously down in the original part down there with the base where you can just do the flashlight part. That's the LED bulbs as well, instead of the LED strip. Actually, I want to get multiple ones of those with the LED strips and put the LED strips on my kayak so I can be like at night on the water and like shining it down on the water. So I can go night fishing.
That would be cool. I wonder if there's a way that you could put them underneath the kayak, even, so you could, or at least make it so you could stick them into the water so you don't get all the glare.
Yeah, and I could. I would just need to have it enclosed in something so water won't get into it.
Yeah.
Which would be the only thing. And I've got scoper holes where I could, take like the LED parts of it where you got the bulbs and have the multiple bulbs going down, shining that way, where the scoper hole plugs go, and just have it seal up so water won't come up through it. That way I can shine an underglow and not have to worry about hitting a rock or anything and tearing it up.
Okay, the next LED flashlight I want to get. I want to get this one right here.
Oh.
That one right there is cool. It's rechargeable, and you can move the head of it. Let's see if it'll...
I Harbor Freight rechargeable flashlight.
What's that?
I actually have a Harbor Freight rechargeable flashlight.
Oh, do you? How do you like it?
Yep. It's great. I don't have to replace the batteries. It's got 2 different brightnesses, and then it's got a strobe.
I've got this one right here. I picked up, it was about a year ago, in fact. I have dropped that thing on the floor. I have dropped it down engine compartments.
Yep.
Just, I love this thing. I have on these pants here, I got the little cell phone pocket. I keep it in there all the time, and
He literally says he feels naked without his flashlight, and I don't blame him. Because it's handy. It's like a pocket knife. You don't realize how much you use until you don't have it on you.
And the cool thing about this one is it's got where it's a micro USB charge port.
Nice.
So I just throw it on my nightstand, about once a week and charge it up. I honestly I charge it up maybe once every week or once every 2 weeks. It lasts a long time.
Yeah, the one that I have, so it's about that long, so about the same size as you have there. It's maybe it's a fairly long one. So just below there, there's a spot that turns where you can actually do the micro USB plug-in to charge it up by the handle
Huh.
up top. So it covers that up. But I mean, that's like the only part on there that's plastic, and then you just press the bottom part for the thumb to turn it on and off. And I think it says it lasts 36 hours, and that's probably on the lowest setting. But holy crap, I can shine that from my house to the back of my property over to the neighbor's tree back there at the line and just light up the tree.
Wow. And
And
honestly,
if
those kinds of lights are very useful to have, especially in an emergency situation if you need to signal, because they can be seen for miles by aircraft.
yeah, so that one actually sets inside. That's the house flashlight.
They've quit carrying them, haven't they?
Those triple. Not that I know of.
Oh. I just look on their website to see if I see it. I'm not seeing it on their website.
I do have to say their LED light bars are pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've got many versions of those that just take AAA batteries, and those are supposed to last a couple of hours, at least 3 hours. I can't remember how long, but at least 3 hours or more. And but for one to have in the vehicle, I've got one for my wife's vehicle and one for the truck, and I just leave it in the glove boxes.
Man.
So if you need to get out on the side of the road, one, it's a nice bright light. And I mean, yeah, it got that focus beam, but if you unscrew the end of it to take off that focus beam, it gives you from this to just everywhere. It just illuminates everything.
Man.
And it's super nice. So I mean, you can hang it up or just have it illuminate this entire section instead of shooting kind of a straight area. And it works fantastic. So cool. I really like it.
Well, it is 10:15 here. That's got to be midnight there, isn't it?
15.
I think we lost you again.
Yeah. 12:15.
Oh, wow.
It's getting late.
Yeah, I guess we better go ahead and call it.
You've got a print to start, right?
Nah, I ain't going to start no print tonight.
Sure.
Nah.
You don't want your lavender and light blue unicorn?
I want one, but I'm not going to start tonight.
Okay, then I'll start my print tonight. I didn't want to be hogging, that's all.
I won't say what kind of colors I call that. But we know what we need to print.
Yep. Everybody thought it was Calvin style unicorn. Yeah.
Aaron, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Sure appreciate it, my friend.
No, not a problem.
We've been talking about doing the stream for what, 3 weeks?
I feel like it's longer.
We've been meaning to do a stream like weeks ago.
Yeah.
And just between my schedule, his schedule, my computer crashing, the storms that they had, just things just were piled against us.
Likely story. No, I totally understand.
Yeah.
I'm just it's good to get back streaming.
Yeah, it is.
For all of us. But...
Are you froze or are you holding your nose still? I think we lost him.
He couldn't handle the awesome.
There he's back.
I'm sure.
You're like this for the longest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, thank goodness it wasn't that.
Oh my god.
Gotta get that gold.
I didn't touch.
Oh god.
Watch YouTube pick that as the thumbnail.
They're the worst ever.
Baron, thank you so much for joining us. I sure appreciate it, my friend.
That's not a problem.
Guys, thank you very much in the chat for joining us. Sorry we didn't pay a whole lot of attention to you tonight. Next stream, we definitely will. Yes, it's all my fault. I know it.
Yes, it is. I mean, I had finally pulled my computer out and popped it up there. So I actually see, I was like, oh, we've not even said anything about chat.
Yeah, the chat was not very, very active tonight for some reason.
We didn't have Teresa in there.
I know. Teresa makes all the difference. She gets in there and she just stirs the pot.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. She does that combat wombat, man. Anyway, thank you very much. You have a good one. Take care. And we'll catch you guys next week, hopefully.
Later.